Okay, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome to this video, which is the fifth lecture, I think, or the fourth lecture. Is it the fourth lecture today? Yeah, it is lecture 5. Okay. So, up to now, we have gone through different types of data sets as far as the wrangling activity is concerned. And I am hopeful that the students who have submitted their assignments, I can see that they are learning. Mashallah, that's a good thing. So we have to continue this exercise because the more we practice, the better it is. So in this data, this is real world data from Germany. And this is data for marketing campaign. All the big companies, they have the marketing department. We already know about that. So most of them have the marketing department, and a lot of money is spent on the marketing side to get the customers, because the customers are going to bring you the sales, right, or the loyalty. So there's a lot of effort being done to understand that what makes a customer loyal. Okay. So in this case, what you can see here is that I have typical variables for marketing campaign. I don't know why it is getting stuck. Yeah, I think I have put the just
Yes.
yeah. So this is actually real world data from a German company. So what we have here is that we have, let's say, how many rows we have. So it's, yeah, we have 1,000 customers. Okay. And these were approached. You can open the file I have uploaded. You can open it at your own end also. So these are the name of the customers who were actually approached for a marketing campaign. And so we mentioned their age, their gender, area, what type of area. Then so if you put the filter here, you can see the different options that become available. So I can just put the filter, and then you can see the obviously names. Names are going to be unique, I think, because one row represents one customer. So gender is male, female. This is obviously, and the area is rural and urban. We also record what type of email packages the customer have taken, because we actually want to gauge whether this person is going to respond or not. We want to understand which type of customers are responding yes and which type of customers are responding no. That's what we want to understand. And we have the age values, we have gender, we have area. So the people are taking 2 email packages, free and premium, and also have the mobile packages. Did they always have a mobile? Do they never keep a mobile, or they have a mobile right now? Okay. So old user, very old user, something like that. And now this is the activity of the customers on the website. So if I have login, how many times the person has logged in the last 4 weeks, in the last 6 months, and the sales generated by the customer in the last 4 weeks and in the last 6 months, along with the fact total sales. So I calculate the total sales from sales 6 months and sales 4 weeks, I think. So no, so I don't think that's it. So I don't know how they are calculating the total sales. Maybe this column is wrong. Maybe it's a wrangling problem, because if I write 155 here, then this means either this column or this column should be 155. So maybe it's an error that you can correct. Yeah, so 68 again, I have zeros here, so I need to fill up 68 here. So that's a wrangling assignment that you need to do. Again, 74 is 0. Okay, 179 again, 92 again. So there's something is going wrong here. So we need to replace 100. So you can understand that sales in the last 4 weeks are coming within the sales in the last 6 months. Last 4 weeks are included in the last 6 months. Yeah, that it's uploaded on the drive folder under lecture 5. Adnan, it's uploaded on the drive folder under lecture 5. I created a new folder. So the problem is that, I also calculate the total sales, and the total sales should be, I don't know, the total sales should be equal to probably the sales 6 months, because that should incorporate the sales in the last 4 weeks. So there is some confusion here, and that is what you need to actually think about and solve this problem, because actually we are interested in the total sales, but 6 months sales in the last 6 months is a big deal. How much? Because the more the customer comes on your website, the better it is. So that's why I'm taking a longer period. Sales in the last 6 months, and then sales in the last 4 weeks. So those who are coming in the last 4 weeks, they're probably more loyal customers than those who are coming in the last 6 months. And if you cannot decide, for example, this is 62, you cannot decide whether to put 62 here or here. So then you have to see the distribution of this column. Okay, you know now how to fill up the missing values. So because I have written 62 here, this is not an error. Okay, so I probably missed something here. Let's assume 62 is not an error. So will you put 62 here or here? So for that, you have to see the histogram and the distribution. Okay, and then you can obviously you also have to make the assumption that based on this assumption, I'm taking this, and that assumption is going to be based on your background knowledge. So in this way, you have to detect the error. So I don't think so there are many missing values here, barring this issue. This is the most important variable, which is a response variable. For example, I can say that Cox is a 60-year-old female, and she did not respond positively, while Farley is a 50-year-old male, and he responded yes. So the purpose of your wrangling assignment is to understand which type of customers are actually giving a response of yes, and which type of customers are actually giving a response of no. So that's what you need to analyze. So like if you remember in the last notebook, we created some charts, which were the some bar charts. We created some plots, aggregate plots. So that kind of thing you can do, but you have to analyze that with respect to the response variable. That's always the case. I mean, I can analyze the email variable, the mobile variable. First of all, I should do that, right? First of all, I should get the hang of each variable separately. हाँ यार, age में ये हो रहा है, gender में ये हो रहा है, frequency distribution is this like, and this is what we can infer. For example, you can say that there are more users for premium email than for free email. So that could be a pattern. Okay, you might take it out and put that in the notebook. But the real challenge is to understand that which type of people are responding yes and which type of people are responding no. So for this analysis, you have to develop a strategy, because you know that I cannot analyze the response variable across more than one variable or more than two variables. It's not in my power to visualize that. Okay, so what I have to do is that I have to break up my analysis into different parts. For example, I can analyze the response variable across the total sales and mobile, and then the total sales, and then the email, and then the total sales, and then the area, and then the gender, then the age. Okay, and Cox, the name variable is something which you do not actually want to analyze, but you do want to single out the best customers and the non-performing customers. So you do want to share a list with me uh, in which you will tell me okay, these are the more trusted customers who are expected to come back, and these others are the more non-trusted customers who are not expected to come back. Okay, so in this way, if you start analyzing this, it's a huge space. Now, so do you understand the problem, everybody? Any queries?
It makes sense, sir. समझ आ रहा है.
Okay.
Query
So,
समझ आ गई.
one more thing, yeah, this one. So sorry about this. I just did not. Yeah, this one. Yeah, so this is a file which is telling you about the background knowledge. Okay, so uh, how is a digital marketing campaign run? Okay, so recent research from Smart Insight shows that almost half of the companies don't have the digital marketing strategy. So it's easy to form the department and give them money, but I think the marketing guys are can make use of the data in a very good way, but I have no idea how much they are making use of the data. So in fact, if you want to analyze your customers, there is only one way to do that, is to wrangle your data. Okay, I'm not talking about machine learning. Okay, that in which I have to make predictions on the data, because this is not a predictive problem. I mean, I already have the label that I want to predict. So that is not my current job. What I want to do is to actually understand what is happening. So there is a difference, right? So you can develop a strategy when you understand your customers. You cannot develop a strategy based on a machine learning model which gives a very good accuracy, because the accuracy is going to go down sooner or later. And so in that case, if your machine learning model fails, then your the predictions are going wrong. So the model will say, okay, this person is going to respond. This person is going to respond. This person is not going to respond. So, but what happens is because the model's accuracy is disturbed based on the new data, so the model is not performing that well. So you cannot form a strategy based on the machine learning model. You can only form a strategy when you know your customers, KYC. And to know your customer, you must do data wrangling. There is no other way. Okay, BI is also one way in which you can find out a lot about the customer. I don't, refuse that fact. But as a data scientist, when you're given the data, so a data scientist is primarily interested in prediction. Keep that in mind, please. So if you are a data scientist, you will say, कि यार machine learning का problem कहाँ है? I'm not here to do a BI chart, or I'm not here to execute a BI project. I'm a data scientist, so I will make a prediction on the KPIs. Whatever is the requirement. So the point is that I'm not really into the BI thing. If a data scientist is not hired for a BI position, okay, a data scientist is hired for a machine learning position in which you have to make predictions and forecasts on time. And a data scientist is responsible for many other things as well. Like, for example, you can say that he's responsible for testing the model, getting the model tested. So once the data scientist is very comfortable, हाँ यार मैंने बना लिया है, I have tested it and on my own, and the accuracy is really great. It's 88%. So now it has to be tested in the industrial data, live data. So mostly what we have seen is that the accuracy goes down. Okay. And the reason the accuracy goes down is because the data scientist has not actually understood the data properly. He is very clever at applying scikit-learn for generating predictions. He's very clever in that, but he's not clever in data wrangling. So he does not know much about the data. He just says कि यार सब कुछ उठाओ algorithm में डाल दो और prediction generate करो. So you can do it. बड़े बड़े professors का भी ये stance आपको मिलेगा, ठीक है. लेकिन I will recommend against it because you have to go very carefully. I mean, this is for me, it's not a good thing to do के सब कुछ उठा के फेंक दो बगैर समझे हुए, and then let's see what comes at the output and let's try to improve that, because I don't really care what happens inside the machine learning model. Okay, so that's not a good mindset, you know. Then what is the, you know, then where is the position of data wrangling? Where is the data wrangling coming in? If you are going to do that, then you are just going to sample the data and you're just going to fill up the missing values. Let's say you fill up by mean, or you do the easy path. You say, okay, let me delete the rows. That's the easy path because I have so much data. Chalo ji. That's also. And let me delete some columns that don't seem to be very useful to me. So chalo, I will also do that. Now I have this data. Let us use neural network. Let us use SVM. Let us use decision tree. Let us use logistic regression. Let us use KNN algorithms to make a prediction, and let's select the one which gives you the best prediction. So for me, this is not data science, because a data scientist has to be part of the strategic team. A data scientist has to make presentations to the strategic team. If you do this diploma and you're not able to demonstrate your understanding of the data before giving them the predictions, so then it means that you have not learned the data science process. Because I to understand the machine learning model is actually, it is nothing. I mean, even you don't know what is inside the machine learning model. So how can you explain that to the business? So what can you explain to the business? You can explain the data wrangling results. Now it happens in most cases that the people will say, यार ये तो हमें पहले से ही पता है, ये तो हमें पता है, इस तरह होता है. So yes, that can be the case when your data is limited over a few columns. But if you have huge amounts of data like ATM transactions, then you have multiple columns like 40, 50 columns or 30, 35 columns. And the business does not know everything about the data. That's why they are into analytics. So first of all, you should prepare a data wrangling report, and then you should prepare a data science or a predictive analytics report. That's my take on the subject, and I've already done that. I've always tried to do that, and I have listened to many people, but you know, it's something anaka masla. Sometimes it's an anaka masla. Yeah, we are this company, and this guy is coming and telling us these things about the data. So I mean, we already know about this, right? But I don't. You will not know how much do they know. So the whole purpose of data wrangling is to do that thing, right? अच्छा, इसमें there's also one more thing कि people will say कि यार, I also do stats. I can do the basic cross tabs. I can do the basic histograms. I can do the basic missing value analysis. That's peanuts, you know, that's crap. So then you should ask him that, have you done it up to now in for your data? Because according to my understanding, your data definitely needs it, right? Your data is dirty. It's not according to a particular schema. It is dirty. It is distributed. We need to integrate the data. Then we need to understand the data, because your data is raw data, right? So I can't use raw data immediately. I have to transform it before I can start analyzing it. So have you done that? So it's easy to say कि हाँ यार, ये customer pattern का तो मुझे पहले से ही पता है, ये कोई नई बात थोड़ी है. It's easy to say, make the statements. But if you drill down a bit, you will understand that they do not really have the grasp of the things. Okay, and what they want from you is that, yeah, this person is a data scientist, and it's probable that he's gonna increase the accuracy of my model because he's a data scientist. So that's what they're interested in. Okay, primarily they might say, yeah, we have a BI initiative, blah blah blah. So So there are different situations. So I'm telling you, in this assignment, what you have to do is that you have to make a list of all the functions that can happen in a wrangling stage, which you have, I think, already done in different assignments. And then you have to analyze the data. I don't encourage you to use a BI tool. I encourage you to use Python, because when you use a BI tool, then BI tool takes it in a different BI tool takes it in a different domain. It's a separate team, aamtor pe. So you're not really able to interact with that team. Are you part of the BI team? Are you part of the analytics team, or are you the same team? So there's a lot of confusion that could come out from there. So you have to develop an overall plan for your campaign. You have to consider your target audience. A good campaign makes a company memorable to its target audience. And start by reflecting on your campaign goals. So if you do not have a campaign goal, then what's the use of running a campaign? And if you do not have a representative target audience, that you need to sample, you need to sample on them. You need to sample on them the right people. That's what I've been stressing all along. Okay, the sample should be the correct sample. So that's, you can only guarantee that by repeated sampling. Okay. So that depends on the company के वो आपको कौन सा sample देते हैं. That's not something that you can standardize. So write down the challenge. So e-commerce may sudden drop in traffic conversions, build the brand recognition and increase social media engagement on a small budget. The business is unprofitable and investing too much time for not enough return. An e-commerce store specializing in bespoke indoor and outdoor lighting has been running a pay-per-click campaign with little success. I think most of you should know about the PPC thing. So it's related to digital marketing. So they are doing a pay-per-click, but they are just spending money, so they are not getting result out of that. So achieving an unprofitable average cost per conversion of euro 76.94, that's quite a lot, right? So it takes you around 80 pounds to convert one customer. That's a lot of money. So the company's main goals were to increase sales and reduce the CPA on its PPC campaign. So that's, this is a business okay, this time is really blooming across the whole world. So people are willing to hire you to run your digital marketing campaigns, and what they want from you is that they want the results. So they want the results from you. Sorry. Yeah. So आमतौर पे what happens the digital marketing company which you have hired might not be able to give you the best possible output. Okay. So there's a cash that goes on in there, and so the reason is that all these companies, okay, are claiming to be digital marketing experts. They have a very fixed sort of process. Okay, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. This is going to cost you 200,000 rupees, and so that's not how the digital marketing campaigns. You don't need to have analytics before you can develop a digital marketing campaign and sell that to the PPC company running the campaign for you. So write down the strategic best post, blogger and vlogger outreach, sponsorships, and social media giveaways, writing articles, screening and website and layout. So this is a big game. You can imagine. And, article, what happens is people are doing a shortcut search. They just start saying, "Yeah, okay, I can invest lots of money that I can guarantee your results will be in the top line." That's it. Acha, I cannot invest that much money. I can guarantee that your results are not going to be in the profit. So that's pretty good to make for people so much money, right? What about the analysis of data that is given to you? You need to analyze the data and from your client, right? So these companies, as far as my knowledge is concerned, are not really digging that much into the analytics part. But they're just running a campaign of very model. So I don't agree with that approach. So you can see guest post, logger and vlogger.
पर आपकी आवाज सही से नहीं आ रही।
Is it clear now?
ये अभी सही है।
Okay, so there are lots of chats. Sorry about that. Oh my God. Is it clear now?
Yes. अब हो गया clear.
We can hear you.
Okay, so you need to choose a campaign goal and you need to choose which KPIs to measure. So I'm not asking you to develop a digital marketing strategy. Okay. What I'm asking you to do is to realize that this is a difficult thing. And based on the data that has been given to you, you have to develop a strategy, but not that much complicated as mentioned here, that you give a goal and all these things. So if you want to do it, then you can do it for your exercise. And you can also punch in your knowledge from PPC campaigns. But your assignment is actually to wrangle the data and then develop the strategy. Okay. So you have to define the strategy based on the results of the wrangling process. You see, there are not many columns to wrangle, and there's not that much dirty data. It's a very small assignment, but you have to analyze and think deep, and you have to understand which graphs I should use. So choose which KPIs to measure, set a campaign budget, review your previous digital marketing campaigns. What were the results of the previous campaigns? Obviously, we have to take those into account. Analyze the marketing campaigns of your competitors, if that is possible. Define your audience, define a campaign message. So that's the executive summary sort of headline. Choose the right medium, like are you going to use newspapers or electronic media? Choose the best networks, convert your traffic, measure your results, go back to step one. So that's how you need to take the business along with your data. If you, as a data scientist, you are not able to do it, then unfortunately uh, you have not developed the skill of data analysis. So I told you that you can analyze the data in business intelligence, but that's not what we want here, right? Because this is pretty simple data for a BI initiative. So this can be analyzed very safely in Python, and that's what you have to do. Okay. So my recommendation right now is to start working on it, because frankly, I'm not able to speak that much now. So if you have any queries, I will answer them. So this is like your midterm exam. But the deadline is you can submit the paper till tomorrow night. However, I will remain online here so that you can, ask me any queries. One more thing I forgot. Because it's time to take the midterm exam. I did not. Okay, the file that you see here is a very different file from what you have done up to now. So in this file, we are doing some statistical analysis of the data. So all of these functions that you see are primarily for statistical analysis, and I have to explain them to you very, very clearly. I can't do that right now. I want you to start working on this assignment so that at least I have some knowledge that you are able to analyze the data. So in the data, this is a real-time assignment. So in the data, what you have is one fallacy in the data, in which the total sales are not counting up from sales 4 months and sales 6 months. Okay, so that's something which you need to address. You need to develop a policy for that, and then you need to analyze each column separately and make conclusions, and then you need to analyze each column with the response variable and then make your conclusions. And then at the end of the file, you have to write your digital marketing strategy. What is going to be in that is which type of customers having which type of attributes are you going to contact for a digital marketing campaign. So based on the given data, so based on the given data, you can understand these columns that you want to analyze. Okay, because you have to understand the response variable with respect to all the other variables, barring the name, because the name is something which is different for each row. So we don't know. We can just see, okay, which customer gave us the best sale and best total sales, and which customer gave us the worst total sales, that is 0 in the last 6 months even. Okay, so baki ye to all these tests, I'm going to explain them to you maybe today, but I just want you to start right now on developing a notebook in which you will use the knowledge from previous notebooks to start analyzing the data for a marketing campaign. So what do you think? It's very important to practice. I mean, you keep on teaching, but it's important to practice side by side. So you can take this as your midterm exam, and then if the time remains, I will try to explain all these things to you as well. Okay, but now I just want you to start it like maybe till 8 o'clock. Okay, and then you can just give it a kickstart, and then from there onwards, I can explain these to you. Okay.
So sir, अभी हम लोगों को basically we have to start analyzing it, right? अभी we have to make
Yeah, you have to
the
you have to get comfortable with analyzing any data set. So what you have to do is that you have to import the data, then see the shape, see the number of columns and the number of rows, see the name
ठीक
of
है
the columns, the types of the columns. If the columns need any conversion, then just convert them. If some missing values are there, like I told you, then you have to cater for them. If some columns are useless, then you just delete them. And then you start analyzing
right.
the data. So plot the histogram for the numerical columns, plot the frequency graph for the categorical columns, and then plot this aggregate plot, cross tabulation, so that you can understand the sales and the response in a better way. So your question is, which type of customers are likely to accept my marketing campaign, and which type of customers are not likely to accept my marketing campaign initiative? That's what you need to dig down. Is the thing fine? Gee,
Yes sir.
you have to why there is a doubt. You already have done 3 to 4 assignments. You already know, okay, where to start and where to end. You can take help from the previous assignments. You can even take help from this one. Agar SME, there is something which you can use for your help, but you will not be able to understand what is happening here. So I do not want to start this topic until I'm sure that you can start analyzing the data at least, and develop your skills, because we have to develop the skills. That's the main thing. We don't have to complete the assignments. Do you understand?
ठीक है, yeah.
So you take the break till 8 o'clock, and then I will just come back and let's see. I will join again at 8 o'clock. Okay. If you want, I can just let this Zoom session go on unrecorded.
अच्छा सर,
जी।
हेलो, हाँ, मैंने अभी तक आपको वो वाला रिच पीपल वाला भेजा नहीं है, मैं आपको अभी भेज सकता हूँ? हेलो,
Yes, you can send.
ओके, चलो, थैंक यू.
You can send. You guys started, and then we'll touch base at 8 o'clock. Okay.
ओ चलो.
Should I keep this session on?
हाँ, आई थिंक रहने दे.
ठीक है. I'll just not recording it, or should I keep the recording on?
नहीं, रिकॉर्डिंग बंद कर दे.